Coming up on this week's news, a court hands a landlord a mega fine of £10,000 over a missing EICR. Electrical contractors slam the standard of job applicants, and the robots are coming for your job. In a trial, their performance is said to have exceeded all expectations. Welcome to Electrical News Weekly in association with Solar Trade Sales, your easy one-stop shop for all things solar. Whether you're listening in the van, on-site or down at the wholesale counter, I'm Joe Robinson, and I've been through the best of the electrical industry news to save you the trouble. And if you think you spotted the two words that I've been challenged to slip into this week's show, comment with them below for the chance to win a prize. Although honesty compels me to tell you that the second word is more of a phrase this week. The Challenge Word Committee clearly haven't recovered from their all-inclusive summer holiday yet. One of the biggest fines ever for a missing EICR has been handed down by a court on the south coast. A Hastings landlord was fined £10,000 after failing to provide a satisfactory certificate to his borough council. It's a legal requirement to show the report if a local authority asks for it. Industry sources say the five-figure fine shows that the authorities are starting to get tough over electrical safety. An appeal by the landlord to the property section of the first-tier tribunal was struck out earlier for failing to comply with directions given by the tribunal. Hastings lead councillor for housing, Glenn Haffenden, says that regular and timely checks of the electrics in properties is an important safeguard for occupiers, as faults may not always be visible. He says his team will work with property owners to become compliant, but if there's no engagement, then the council won't hesitate to take enforcement action. The sum of the fine will inevitably be compared with the same amount that was levied last month against Dungannon-based Swift Control Services Limited. That contracting firm was found to be partially responsible for the death of a teenage electrical apprentice. 18-year-old Adam Newell was electrocuted after coming into contact with a live circuit on a new build site in Moneymore in Northern Ireland in 2021. The firm, which received the £10,000 penalty at Derry Crown Court, had earlier pleaded guilty to a single health and safety offence. In other news, electrical contracting firms have this week slammed the quality of those applying for installer vacancies. Of 125 businesses responding to a survey, almost half said that the applicants consistently lack sufficient knowledge or the skills to do the job. They also agree that pay expectations are way too high among job seekers. One respondent said that applicants are not as skilled as they think they are, and in some cases they are nowhere near where they should be. Another said that youngsters coming into the trade struggle to cope with the academics of the electrical courses and consequently leave. Reacting to the results of the poll, the Electrical Contractors Association's Andrew Eldred has called on the government to work closely with the industry to close the huge skills gap. He also said that ministers must listen to electricians themselves about what needs to be done. Could the skills gap be filled by robots? That was the question that researchers set out to answer in a major real-world experiment in Denmark. The country is facing a shortfall of 6,700 electricians, and a third of contracting firms regularly turn down work due to shortages of installers. It thinks automation could be the answer. The electrical employers body and the trade union teamed up to organise the trial. The idea is to free electricians from the heaviest, most monotonous and repetitive tasks. Engineers tested the machines on 50 routine electrical installation and maintenance tasks. The result, says robot technician Mikael Viaga, was far more significant than the team had dared to hope. In fact, 13 of the tasks were identified as suitable for the bots. These included cable pulling behind ceilings and walls, hole drilling for electrical installations, and channel cutting for wiring. The robots were particularly good at measuring and marking up the locations of sockets and conduit. They use a 3D scanner to read the room and then plot the installations directly from the technical drawing onto walls, floors and ceilings. Some robots can even print the drawing directly onto the floor. Other jobs that they can help with are overhead work, wire stripping and vacuum cleaning. Maria Sjugard-Berntsen from the employers body Technic said the study showed enormous potential. She says that it shows that automation could help ensure that a company can say yes to orders that they would otherwise have to decline due to staff shortages, and it debunks the myth that robots are taking jobs from people. A further advantage is that unlike some electricians, the robots are very demure, very mindful. In the meantime, human electricians will have to keep the show on the road, which in turn means a healthy market for tools and PPE. But now, an industry warning has gone out over the popular shopping website and Gordon's personal favourite, Temu. A Channel 4 probe into the Chinese platform has revealed that safety products for sale had fake safety certificates and were unfit for purpose. In the Dispatches documentary, reporter Ellie Flynn reveals that some equipment advertised on the platform doesn't perform as advertised and falsely claims to have safety certificates. One notable instance involved 2 pairs of pliers being sold as having electrical insulation properties that were advertised as being certified by VDE, the established electrical product tester and certifier. However, VDE's Hendrik Schaefer confirmed that the tools had not been checked by the institute. Flynn discovered that the product listings featured altered photos of genuine safety certificates with the name of the Temu merchant superimposed over the original certificate holder's name. Schaefer explained that if the certification is not correct, then the insulation of the tools may not work, and the result could be an electric shock, or in the worst case, it could lead to death. The British Safety Industry Federation says that it has long warned about the widespread availability of substandard PPE and safety kit. In its own investigations, the organisation found that a staggering 79% of PPE items sourced from non-member vendors, including online marketplace and high street retailers, failed to meet basic safety standards. For example, safety glasses from a high street retailer failed impact resistance tests and lacked essential safety documentation. Despite the retailer's assurances that this would be addressed, the glasses remained on sale for over 2 months after the failure was identified. For its part, Temu told Dispatches that it doesn't allow forgeries and will take action against any sellers involved if such cases are found. Another product safety probe, this time by the Electrical Safety First charity, has discovered that all but one of 26 outdoor electrical products tested over a year-long period posed a risk of electric shock. Even worse, 46% of those tested had both a risk of fire and electric shock. The goods include outdoor lights, electric barbecues and water heaters bought on Temu, eBay, Amazon and Wish. A common problem was substandard plugs and fake fuses. Others failed to prevent water ingress, which meant people were exposed to the risk of electric shock when a device got wet. This included goods such as outdoor heaters and lights, which are often left outside. One water immersion heater, which could be used for paddling pools, caught fire when not submerged, the charity said. That's going to ruin your afternoon of gumdrops in the garden with Grandad, isn't it? Electrical Safety First boss Leslie Rudd said that the persistence of dangerous products on online marketplaces points to a major problem that urgently needs addressing. She is calling for a total overhaul of product safety laws. Still on electrical safety, we've teamed up with TIS again for the annual Safer September campaign. This is an initiative to highlight the importance of isolating circuits during testing and inspection. We're really passionate about the use of dedicated safe isolation kits which have all the necessary tools to check that a circuit is dead, label it as isolated and lock it to prevent someone else from turning it on accidentally. The good news is we're holding a prize draw for 3 TIS safe isolation kits exclusively for viewers who have completed the free CPD training module. If you haven't done yet, and needless to say we recommend that you do, check out the link for the CPD and lots of other resources in the show notes. You can also take a copy of your eFIXX Safe Isolation CPD certificate along to your local wholesaler for an additional 10% off the TIS kit. Much like the man who went to the doctor because he couldn't say his F's or thes, you can't say fairer than that. And our usual reminder that we're in the market for your stories, your projects and your recommendations, as we'd like to share them with the wider eFIXX community. In September, we're focusing on commercial lighting, tools and workwear, and of course, the Safer September campaign. Send us pictures of your installs or let us know if you've come across any new kit that's making your job easier. Now, just before we get to your favourite bit of the show where I reveal last week's challenge words and winners, we want to thank our premium partners. We couldn't make the news without you. First up, it's the people who've created the Swiss Army knife of solar inverters along with all-weather batteries, very much the Boy Scouts of the solar industry. It's Sunsync. Up next, they're resolving ventilation problems one property at a time, offering a simplistic ventilation design service and high-quality products made right here in the UK, breathing fresh air into your home. It's Envirovent. Next, they're the brand that pride themselves on keeping people close to what's important with the world's most recognisable doorbell chime. It's Ring. And do you want a no-fuss lighting solution that's packed with value? Then try the EcoLink range from Signify, combining value for money with top-end Signify quality. Now, a business that will literally bend over backwards to give you first-class service on the trade-only supply of signal reception and distribution, custom install, home automation and security products for all residential and commercial projects. It's All Trade. If you want to pump up the jam and join the home heating revolution, then it's got to be heat pumps from Dakin. The best thing to come out of Yorkshire since stainless steel, the home of EV Ultra and other groundbreaking and quality products, it's Doncaster Cables. With an incredible range of equipment from EV charge points through industrial sockets and switches to kit for explosive areas, plus they supplied gear for a Campari factory, so they'll always have a place in my heart. It's Scarmy. Big thanks to you all. We really appreciate your ongoing support for the news. If you think you know the words that I've smuggled into today's show, pop your guess into the comments. We'll take all the correct guesses and select one at random to be the winner of an eFIXX goodie bag prize. Answers submitted after about lunchtime on the Thursday after release will not be entered into the draw. Now let's reveal the winners of last week's challenge word competition. The words were carburettor and marigolds, and the winner from the last episode is Ian Williams 2239. So well done to you, Ian, especially as you got the spelling absolutely spot on. Make sure you click the Get Involved link in the show notes to claim your prize. Thanks for listening to this episode of Electrical News Weekly in association with Solar Trade Sales, your easy one-stop shop for all things solar. Make sure you subscribe to receive the next update. Thanks for listening, and until next time, have a great week. Stay safe out there, and remember, there's no such thing as a torque calibrated arm.